such a phenomenal bike rider is Elisa Longoborghini of UAE Team ADQ. "48 seconds down in GC, and that is at the moment also the time that Femke de Vries has lost on Elisa Longoborghini. Reusser and Niewiadoma are all in the same time as Longoborghini, so it might actually come down to bonus seconds, but for now, she is in the lead. The top of the climb is 500 meters away for Elisa Longoborghini. This is the attack from the wheel of Kasia Niewiadoma, seeing that Reusser and Van are getting closer. Wow, what a stage and what a show yet again by the women's peloton. The final very steep gradients of this climb, 14.7%, the steepest bit. We just did that one. And now we got 10% all the way to the top of the climb. There we go. Here are the points. Oh, please, sir, get off the road. Get off the road. And there is Elisa Longoborghini. It's about 5, 6, 7, 8, no, it's more than that. They're only at the top of the climb here, with Reusser joining Niewiadoma and Zara Van Dam, who's not participating in this group whatsoever. Van Dam is also at that 48-second bracket from Femke de Vries, but Femke de Vries is over a minute behind. I'm quite curious to see, or to hear her story. Now we go into the descent on our way to Locarno with Elisa Longoborghini in the lead. She started today 7th on GC, 48 seconds down on Femke de Vries, and she is in pole position to get the yellow jersey. Of course, the Tricolore Italiana is an absolutely marvelous jersey, but the yellow jersey suits her so well as well. 60 wins, the stage win in the Giro d'Italia was her 60th win. She won on Jebel Hafid in the UAE Tour earlier this year, won the overall as well. And then, yeah, there was that one stage win in Trofeo Oro in Euro before her entire Classics campaign went pear-shaped with that virus that she had, the infection that she had in her throat, constantly coughing throughout the races that she did in Flanders and Dwars door Vlaanderen as well. But she's back, back with a vengeance, Elisa Longoborghini. But we still have a little bit of flat road before we cross the line. And that is, of course, where the group of free riders with the powerhouse of Marlen Reusser has the advantage over the lone leader. The end of our descent is at around 5 kilometers from the line, and then we are going to follow the shores of the Lago Maggiore with a little bit of wind coming from the lake. So that is going to be a crosswind until about a kilometer to go, where we have the Flamme Rouge, and then a little bit of a tailwind going into the final 200 meters. Longoborghini, one hairpin ahead of the three chasers. And Femke de Vries has officially lost that jersey now, a minute and a half already behind Elisa Longoborghini. Will it have been a sleepless night? Maybe the effects of the tumble that she had in that touch of wheels with Marta Lach at 70k from the line, going from an absolutely amazing moment in her career to losing the leader's jersey on a stage where I personally didn't expect it. And if you saw how fantastically she climbed the fungi climb following the wheels of Kasia Niewiadoma, I didn't expect her to lose this much time. But that is for later. Hopefully we'll get a post-race interview with Femke de Vries as well, explaining what happened on the stage. For now, it's about a stage win and about a new yellow jersey. Oh, this descent, it is hazardous. And she keeps on pedaling on the descent all the way to the shoreline. The last of the hairpins is about now. So we've done the descent of the Via Consiglio Mezzano. 5.3 kilometers to go for Elisa Longo Borghini, but the roads are flat at the moment. She has a little bit of crosswind, a little bit of tailwind, because we're doing a kind of a detour into town. At this point, we're about 250 meters from the finish line, but we're taking a little bit of a detour for the final 500 meters to end up on the shores of the Lago Maggiore. She's losing some of her ground right now, is Elisa Longo Borghini on the flat roads here. And with 3 riders chasing, well, yeah, I think Van Damme is committed to it. Now she knows that Femke de Vries is quite far behind. She can now also take turns in that group of 3 with Nievadoma and Reusser. We don't know where Lauren Dixon is. We don't know at the moment where Cédrine Kerbol is, but they're all behind. And we're on our way to a new leader in the Tour de Suisse after another phenomenal display of gritty and gutsy riding. The crowds have gathered here at the finish line in Locarno in the sunshine. We got some fruit salads here from the supermarket chain Lidl. We got some caps of the Primeo Energy, main sponsor of the race, protecting the public against the sunshine. There's not a cloud in the sky here at the finish line. For now, Van Damme is not contributing to the chase. And we know Elisa Longo Borghini, she's not giving up until the absolute final meter of any bike race. Giving everything that she can. There was a little hiccup, and now a descent again. And then we're going all the way to the shoreline. The final corner is at 200 meters to go, but we have got 2 90-degree turns in the final kilometer. Not a problem if you're on your own. And Elisa Longo Borghini, she is a racer at heart. She's absolutely showing why she is one of the most phenomenal athletes that we have in the pro peloton. That stage win on stage 9 in the Giro d'Italia was stage win 60, or win 60 of her career. Oh, what is Sarah Van Damme doing here? What is happening here? She was on the wheel of Kasia Nievadoma. I think Nievadoma and Reusser are taking the wrong way here. Nievadoma and Reusser are taking the wrong way. They didn't follow the route on their bike computers. And Nievadoma and Reusser, they have to chase back right now. It was actually Sarah Van Damme who took the right turn and not Nievadoma and Reusser. So many stories happening today in this second stage of the Tour de Suisse. Van Damme is currently in 2nd position, and that means that she's possibly also moving up to 2nd overall for the Canadian rider, while Reusser and Nievadoma missed that corner. 2 kilometers left for Elisa Longo Borghini. She's got this in the bag. There's no way that Sarah Van Damme on her own is going to close that gap. But the scenarios that are unfolding right in front of her eyes today, absolutely spectacular stage yet again in the women's peloton. Here are Reusser, Nievadoma and Steffi Hebelin back together, but they lost some ground. Sarah Van Damme is up the road here on her own. But we know that Elisa Longo Borghini's got about 30 seconds right now on the competition. If we're kind of looking for our leader, that's not our leader. That is still Sarah Van Damme. But Elisa Longo Borghini is up the road. Yeah, they're now taking the right exit here off the main road. But now we are approaching the Flamme Rouge with the Campionessa Italiano, with the Italian champion, Elisa Longo-Borghini, on her way to the double, both the stage win and the overall, taking some time on the competition. She is an accomplished time trialist as well. Flamme Rouge is upon us. Elisa Longo-Borghini is leading at the moment, on her way to a stage win here in the streets of Locarno. About 300 meters behind is Sarah Van Dam, giving everything to create as much of a gap that she can on the three chasers, on Reusser, on Nievadoma, and on Steffi Hebelin. A little bit further back, we find Lecour and Dixon. Flamme Rouge now for Sarah Van Dam, but this is well over 30 seconds for her. Let's get back to the lead of the race, please. The glorious moment for Elisa Longo-Borghini. What a phenomenal bike racer. What happy times for us that we can witness her in the races again after the spring season that went wrong with the illness that she encountered. This is that final corner. Look at the crowds that have gathered here in the streets of Locarno. The glory is all hers, but she keeps on riding all the way to the finish line because she knows that we still have a time trial coming up. We still have stage 5 coming up. But today is glorious for Elisa Longo-Borghini. The Italian champion brings it home. She not only wins stage 2, but she also is our new race leader. Campionessa. There is Sarah Van Dam, who actually knew the route at 2 kilometers to go, looking at her bike computer, knowing that she had to take that left-hand turn there and not go straight ahead like Nievadoma and Reusser did. She's crossing the finish line about 30 seconds back, and what a fantastic ride for the Canadian as well, Sarah Van Dam. And now we wait for Nievadoma, for Reusser and Hebelin. Reusser is giving everything. Of course, she has to limit the damages on the line to Elisa Longo-Borghini, but it's going to be 45, 46, 47 seconds for Hebelin. And Hebelin picks up the 4 bonus seconds just ahead of Reusser as well. This is Kim Lecour, Lauren Dixon, and Cédrine Kerbol. Losing just over a minute on Elisa Longo-Borghini, who is our new race leader with a margin of 30 seconds on Sarah Van Dam. This morning, she looked a little bit subdued in the pre-race interview, but she's smiling her characteristic smile yet again. This are Talita de Jong and Jara Kastelein, the two former cyclocross riders, former world champion Talita de Jong, former European cyclocross champion Jara Kastelein. And now we wait for Femke de Vries. Tappe e maglia is what the Italians say. There's Zoe Backstedt. Top 10 place for her as well. Let's see what she can do tomorrow. She seems to key it out there as well. 2 minutes down, and there we have Femke de Vries in the distance. Losing well over 2 minutes. I'm curious to hear her story. Colin Swinkles congratulating
fun downhill.
Longo-Borghini. Yeah, that was actually fun downhill. Grande Elisa.
Cos'è?
There's Gina Caluore, who has crashed, as you can see, on her hip. Italian rider from Chur, region where we're racing tomorrow. Also Megan Arends coming across, Maya Kingma in the distance. Caluore there. Oh, hope she's not hurt too badly. What a day.
Oh, it was fun.
Yeah, yes, Elisa, that was fun to watch. Grazie. Here's our stage result. Elisa Longoborghini wins the stage ahead of Sarah Van Dam, Steffi Hebelin, Marlen Reusser, Kasia Nevadoma, Finney, Kim Lecour-Pina, Lauren Dixon, Sidrin Kerbol, Talita de Jong en Yara Kastelein.
Wir schauen auf die Highlights der heutigen ersten Etappe mit Start und Ziel in Sondrio im Feld. Lille. Frederik Dversnes war ein erster Animator der heutigen Startetappe der Tour de Suisse 2026, der 89. Austragung. Ja, und dann bei den Bonussprints, als es ein paar Bonussekunden zu holen gab, da machte das Team von Tadej Pogačar ernst und holte sich zuerst die Bonussekunden und dann hat man sich angeschaut und gesehen, da sind nicht mehr viele übrig. Wir machen hier ernst, wir greifen an und da war dann plötzlich nur noch einer unterwegs, Tadej Pogačar, der dann am Ende die Etappe auch gewann, nachdem er sich noch des Fluchtgefährten des Animators der ersten Phase, Frederik Dversnes, entledigte. Ja, mit diesen Bildern gebe ich jetzt gleich zu Olivier Bohrer weiter, denn der hat einen extrem spannenden Studiogast.
Ja, wir haben Richard Carapaz bei uns, der Zweiter geworden ist, Best of the Rest sozusagen. Bienvenidos. Aquí, felicitaciones, congratulations for your, not for the victory of course, you're second, but the best of the rest. Do you like that term?
Best of the rest. Mögen Sie diesen Ausdruck oder hassen Sie ihn? Es war ein harter Tag für mich. Nach dem Sprint habe ich mich dazu entschieden, vorne zu bleiben. Aber ich wusste, Tadej war auf einem anderen Level. Für mich ist es trotzdem ein sehr guter Tag. Der zweite Platz, so zurückzukommen, das ist super gut. Ich habe es versucht. Ich werde es wieder versuchen. Morgen geht es dann weiter in der Schweiz. Ich habe gute Erinnerungen an die Schweiz. Haben 2021 gewonnen. Jetzt, was bedeutet es Ihnen, beim Comeback-Rennen schon so gut zu sein? Ja, es ist super schön, hier so zurückzukommen nach diesen Schwierigkeiten. Ja, 2021, daran habe ich tolle Erinnerungen. Ich habe gute Möglichkeiten diese Woche. Ich werde es versuchen. Was sind Ihre Gedanken über Tadej Pogačar? Er scheint zu fliegen. Ist das frustrierend als Fahrer oder bewundern Sie? Wie ist das? Ja, Tadej ist ein Riesenjunge. Ich habe großen Respekt vor ihm. Er ist natürlich der Favorit für diese Woche. Aber wir haben so oder so eine tolle Woche und werden es versuchen. Ja, sie werden es versuchen. Das ist der Plan für morgen. Morgen ist ein weiterer großer Tag. Zum ersten Mal in der Schweiz dann. Aber wieder eine Chance. Aber ein gutes Team für diese Etappe. Und ich werde es wieder versuchen. Es ist schön. Faszinierend haben die Fans.
There it is, out from and back to Sondrio. And this is what we're dealing with. So a nice approach to tempt out a breakaway. And then, of course, we're getting into the hills. And we started off some very serious faces, I must admit. Slightly grumpy. The mayor himself decided to lift up the flag rather than just take it from the sky downwards. There's always a danger of dunking somebody on the head when that happens. But anyway, so we were off and underway at the beginning of the day. Well, it didn't take long for our breakaway to form itself, and rather ominously for absolutely everybody.
And then to add in another race, you've got the women's and the men's race as well. You're kind of doubling up. Loads of extra opportunity and stimulation and entertainment for the race fans and interested and curious onlookers that might visit the local region. And of course as well they've got and Diverseness completes the descent off the first of our climbs of the week. Again, we've got 3 more climbs today. Where the whereabouts is of some of the big names. We're hearing as well Attila Valter from the Bahrain Victoria squad out the back. Now was Valter back looking for Tiberi. First of the Bahrain riders we heard in a bit of trouble was actually Afonso Lalio. But again, it's kind of, at any rate, as information comes to us, we'll put a little asterisk around everything. Jarno Vidar at the back here, Lotto Intermarché rider. And his teammate Boulin's in the break for much of the day. Diverseness, he's first through the first of those 2 banners within a kilometre. Interesting to see whether anyone fancies pinching the 2 and 1 bonus seconds on offer from the main peloton behind. I suspect the UAE squad might just escort Tadej Pogačar through. Diverseness is at about 50-55 kilometres an hour in that main peloton behind, and Decathlon joining the fun for a little bit of chasing. And they're going to prevent the world champion from maybe, just maybe, pitch for the Mountains jersey. So Riccatello has joined in this one, and Brandon McNulty, I think, has been encouraged to press on a little bit here. And why not? Let's see. That's Bajoli, by the way, the local man. I mean, absolutely fired up. Man, proud native of Sondrio. What would it mean to him? And oh no, here he goes. Would you believe it? First man up to Fredrik Diverseness. Well, they clipped a minute off that advantage in the space of about a couple of kilometres this week. Diverseness, as the gradient has eased ever so slightly, has settled in on the wheel of Tadej Pogačar, and I don't think there's any responsibility whatsoever on Diverseness to give Pogačar a turn at all. He may think that there would be a value in that on in the valley beyond it, but the clutches of Carapaz, who in turn finds himself back in amongst Bajoli, Vacek, Double, Roglic, Riccatello. And they're forming the tree-lined mountain roads, the lower slopes of the Alps. And everywhere you look, if you crane your neck and turn through 180 degrees owl-like, all you see are various different looks to me, was that the second group on the road are about to be rejoined by the remains of the peloton and swell that group a little bit, but will there be reinforcements that can possibly control this 35 seconds? I mean, it almost looks like a training ride for Tadej Pogačar, and the kind of numbers that he puts out in training. It does look like racing for everyone else, doesn't it? And racing at an altogether different level. But it does seem, and this is a pattern that we've seen so often in his career, he has this gap out to 53 seconds. Bajoli and Vacek, they know what they can do, and they just do what they can do. Brandon McNulty knows what he has to do. Just sit in the group, sit and wait, sit and wait. Finally, the UAE fierce pace that he was setting on the first climb of the week, the Puglio in Monte. Now Wellens struggling to follow the tempo, but he's done the CMA CGM. So biggest issue for Tadej Pogačar today is getting the radio to work. Well, he's got his team car at least handy. Yep, taking a remarkable time to witness the defeats and the extraordinary accomplishments of the 27-year-old Slovenian. 4 overall victories in Tour de France. The next 35 kilometers are going to be very demanding indeed once they get this descent dealt with. Pogačar, 6 points towards his bid for the Mountains title. Not that he's really thinking about the Mountains title. In fact, I suspect nothing to get on the gear. There's a lot of riders riding solo already. I tell you what, it's a shock to the system, isn't it, on day one? You find yourself battling like this. 21-year-old from Leeds, 10th of the year. And right now, maximum focus on Tour de Suisse, followed by France. In Lombardia is on his programme. Goes in defence of his title. Vacek now to take it up after Bajoli's long shift. Of course, a major appointment ahead of the Tour de France in its own right. Huge addition to any rider's palmarès. One of the most prestigious stage races on the World Tour calendar, and a race that had Villard-Hollon. Chase group on the road, including Mathieu van der Poel. Well, the Dutchman knows Tim Wellens well enough. I believe the Van der Poel groups are Group 3. Well, now that I say it, I don't see too many Alpecin jerseys in there, do you? So I suspect Van der Poel is further back, and north of 41 kilometers an hour, despite all the climbing they've got today. Carapaz has decided to go solo. Now look at this for a fighting performance here from the Ecuadorian, the only former champion of Tour de Suisse in this year's edition, and the 2021 winner, Richard Carapaz, after all his difficulties earlier on in the season. Looks like he's Pogačar hits the next downhill stretch. Gaffuri in this one. Yeah, this is the fourth group on the road at the moment. And number 87, Liam Stocks, the rider, of course, of one, has run top 10. At the last 10k, a little bit more, maybe 15k, added on to the advantage of Tadej Pogacar, who continues to look like he's out for a training ride. He's certainly enjoying himself. That's Nikita, a man who's performed with great distinction in this race in the past and is starting to find a bit of form. Finished 11th overall in the Tour of Romandy after non-finishing in Basque Country. Speaking of which, are we going to see a hit out from this this group of chasers? Landon van Wilder in here for the Soudal Quick-Step squad. Andrea Baggioli. So a lot of 2x2 situation. 3 riders for the UAE that aren't chasing at all. Get a free spin through to the last couple of climbs. Then you've got Primoz Roglic, who's flying solo for the Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe squad. No sign of Finn Fisher Black today, maybe just Team Jayco Alilda team. Wilco Kelderman solo representation for the Visma bike squad, and Simon Dolby, who's the Uno X rider. Oh yes, and just one Astana, that's Sergio Higuita. That's your 17 rider chase group behind this man, Richard. Motos 1, 2 and 3 as well. Superb team, tough day for them to off Sondrio today. Beautiful place to come and ride a bike, by the way. There'll be lots and lots of sight. We've been here for a couple of days just preparing for this event, and there's just a huge number of bike riders, leisure cyclists. Telio looking pretty great in this summer sunshine for a trip to France for Wilco Kelderman, not part of the Tour de France group for the Visma bike squad. Guess he comes up with a monster ride this week. Who knows? Who can tell? At any rate, happy enough to ride in that group. What a thrill. You wait all day for the bike race. Well, of course, they'll have had the women's race earlier on today. I'm not 100% sure went through this particular village. There was a different length race, and there was a slight variation in the finishing loop. But for the most part, it's a great experience that he has with the fans and that interaction with bike racers and bike fans the world over. Not always, but almost always. Just had to make a slight adjustment. Had plenty of margin. Squeal of the disc brakes. Controlling a 49-second advantage now over Andrea Baggioli. Plenty of support for the Ecuadorian. The local fans not entirely partisan. Wonderfully the road today. A reset and go again. Higuita toiling. Andrew August as well, number 61. It's been hot work for them today. Mikel Landa. A series of switchbacks here. Not much of a gap between the rocky hill face on that iron railing on his other side. So taking too many, defend his situation. All hopes and thoughts of stage glory today long since put behind him. Jolie now what, about 35 seconds behind? Picking up the riders behind. Now, are we going to see any action from this group on the final climb of the day? That's going to be interesting. Spends weeks and months of his lifetime wearing a black jersey for the points classification. These days it's blue, by the way. Lidl sponsoring that one. Pogačar, Carapaz and Bajoli claiming the top points. Gives you a sense of just how urgent the situation is, down to just 20 seconds advantage. Bajoli will very soon be in sight, and I suspect that pink Cadillac will pick up in the modern Fiat 500 through this village, and all of the villagers here, they know exactly how demanding this ramp is. For Pogačar, makes it look like a flat road. .24 seconds showing on the clock between our second and third riders on the road. The rest are fabulous crowds here for the first stage of Tour de Suisse. Everybody wants to see the greatest of his era. Gap going out slightly to Pogačar, but remember he's on the descent. That'll stabilise again by the time we get to the finish line. But at the moment it looks as if Richard Carapaz has maintained his effort against Tadej Pogačar for much of the day. There's really been little to choose between them. Sort of increased, went out to 2 minutes and what? And big cheers for word will have come through. Andrea's on the attack. And the sheer thrill when they see that it is their favourite son, Andrea Bajoli, through the underpass and on to glory today. Gordigi is behind him, and he's within 1,600 metres of another sensational success. The 10th of the season. _100th in his career already. Does this take it to 101? They fight about what's a pro win and what isn't, but nonetheless, it's glory. Time to smile at last and take it in. The job is done, for now at any rate. 4 tough stages in front of him, but he's got an absolutely yawning chasm between himself and the rest of the GC contenders. And his first visit to Tour de Suisse is actually his 3rd successive victory in Switzerland. Indeed, his 3rd successive win in road racing. 4th if you count the fact that he's got the overall from Tour of Romandie to go with it, and now commanding lead in the senior Swiss race. Of course, this isn't in Switzerland, is it? So we can't really count this as a 3rd successive victory in Switzerland, but at any rate, we'll work out all that confusion. It is his 10th win of the season, and it is glory. They're banging the boards to bring him home. The world champion has delivered, and he's just going to take a moment to compose himself. Not going to ride for every single second of GC. A commanding performance. He'll soak it up. He's given the crowd what they expected. It's glory for Tadej Pogačar once again on stage 1 of Tour de Suisse. 10th win of the season. And look at that, 41.5 kilometers per hour. with 2,500 meters of elevation across just 144 kilometers of racing. Really, he will ride it to the line here to limit his losses over Pogacar, and perhaps more importantly to ensure that he retains as much of an advantage over his nearest challengers. Bajoli in second place, back after a layoff. Richard Carapaz for the F Education Easy Post squad. Just a smidgen over 2 minutes down, lost very little time towards the end of that stage, and Richard Carapaz delivers a fine performance in second. Bajoli just misses out, take third, and gets an extra special cheer from the local crowd. And takes a moment to acknowledge their support. And he certainly has the local clear. Riders all over the place. Look at it, the UAE battalion next to appear. So Roglic is actually south of this group at the moment, so it must have been quite the battle on that final finishing climb. We didn't get to see it. Vacek is going to open up the sprint here. More top 10 delight for the Lidl Trek squad. He's not going to be the one to deliver on this occasion, though. Van Wilder, it is, I believe, it gets up for that. Simon Dalby for the Uno X squad. He's given an excellent account of himself today, and clearly there was quite the battle on the Bordigi climb. They'll be fully prepared for the victory podium. He's got most of the jerseys to collect, points, mountains, and the overall, as well as stage honours. Just the matter of the leading young rider who
there it is, out from and back to Sondrio, and this is what we're dealing with. So a nice approach.
Carro acabou de quebrar. Pô, aqui distante da noite, nono para segundo.
Pietro Fittipaldi também pode se aproveitar, os três vêm quase lado a lado disputando a segunda posição. Pietro Fittipaldi conquista uma destas posições e fica agora em terceiro. Pietro assume a segunda posição. Pietro Fittipaldi passou 2 carros.
O diretor de prova só deu agora o drive-thru, então, putz, cara, a gente tava em quarto e ia estar colado nos 3 líderes. Você quer ver a câmera que eu tenho?
Que porra é essa, meu brother?
Le deuxième pour devant Jacques Elkert avec Carte Cardiaque et Artime Lotta numéro 38.
Estamos na classificação agora. O Ryan, que é o piloto silver do carro, está classificando. É obrigatório esse ano, na primeira classificação, que o piloto com a licença o menos nível classifica. Então os carros que são Pro-Am vai classificar os pilotos Bronze, que são os amadores. O nosso carro, que é um carro Pro, é obrigatório ter um Silver Driver, que é tipo o segundo nível. Então ele está classificando o nosso carro. Tem 20 carros, a gente precisa classificar em 15º. E ele agora está em 4º lugar. Então vai passar limpo. É ótimo trabalho do Ryan. Amanhã tem mais um treino, aí tem Hyperpole 1 dos 15 carros de P2, a gente precisa entrar no top 10. O Vlad vai fazer o Hyperpole 1 e aí Hyperpole 2 eu vou entrar se a gente passar e brigar pela pole. Bora lá, vamos finalizar aqui e ver como é que a gente termina.
Yeah, I know, but still, come on, top 5. On the second set, and I understood. In the first lap? On the first push lap? On the second set, yeah. Because it was too cold, the temps were at 40. Yeah. They need to be at least 60, 65. Yeah. The rear was... How was the balance? It was okay, yeah. It was a good to But when was the rear oversteering? Huh? You said the rear was what? At the first couple laps, the rear is like... And then on the peak of the lap? On the peak? It's okay. The front is quite strong though. Yeah. 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 On to the next one. Good. Então passamos para Hyperpole 1 amanhã. Tem mais um treino de manhã. Então hoje tem mais um treino à noite. Tem treino amanhã de manhã. Aí ele vai fazer Hyperpole, eu vou fazer Hyperpole 2, se a gente conseguir passar. E é isso. Vou lá em cima falar com o Ryan. Fala meus amigos, quinta-feira hoje é dia do último treino e a Hyperpole. A gente não estava muito feliz com o carro, fizemos umas mudanças enormes, parabéns aos mecânicos para finalizar o carro. Hoje de manhã tiveram que trocar a caixa de velocidade, o gearbox, a suspensão traseira, colocam tudo novo, isso é normal, procedimento, antes uma corrida de 24 horas. E daí trocamos também um acerto completamente para ver se a gente consegue melhorar o ritmo de corrida que não estava muito bom. Fiz o primeiro stint agora, tá ok, precisa tentar melhorar um pouco ainda mais. Vamos ver, eu acho que esse carro é melhor para corrida, mas não é tão bom para classificação. Então vamos ver o que a gente consegue fazer e é isso, a gente continua acelerando aqui. Thank you. I'll see you later. Essa é minha casa para as 24 horas de Le Mans. Entra aqui. Temos nada mais ou nada menos que uma cozinha sensacional, uma área de relax para você assistir a corrida enquanto seus companheiros estão pilotando. Temos o primeiro quarto aqui, que eu vou colocar meu companheiro. Ele não sabe ainda, acho que vai ficar um pouco magoado porque eu vou ficar com o quarto principal. Mas tem uma mini cama aí também, um convidado. Aqui temos o chuveiro,
Depois você sai do carro suado, você precisa dar aquela refrescada, banho, tomar um banho é muito importante. E esse aqui é o Master Bedroom, que eu vou estar descansando depois de cada stint. A gente já está pilotando, acho que eu vou fazer 9, 10 horas durante a corrida, então é muita pilotagem, então muito descanso. Pessoal, bora correr. O carro acabou de quebrar. Vamos tentar de novo. Ó, acabamos de receber aqui essa premiação pela nossa participação das 24 horas de Le Mans. Muito legal, eu já tenho 3 dessa é a minha quarta e fica tudo lá no meu escritório em casa. Estamos no começo do parede, falta muito.
Lá vem Mr. Pietro Fittipaldi com a sua equipe Vector. Tá parceiro, hein? Paulinho lá com ele, ó, gravando, fazendo de tudo. Super legal.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, bonjour.
Tout va bien, everything's okay?
Everything perfect, ready for the race tomorrow. It's an amazing event here. Every year, so many people, everybody has so much passion for the race, and I can't be doing it better than with my 2 great teammates.
Ouais, non, je suis très content d'être là. C'est toujours une expérience très sympa. Ryan, d'être ici avec autant de ferveur de la part des fans. Ryan, many gifts. Are you ready? Those many fans.
Okay, I try. Oh, one more. Oh, man. Oh.
Airball.
Obrigado. Bom dia. Corrida importante. Tipo, podia ter descansado um pouco melhor, mas tá beleza. Eu que vou estar largando a corrida, então vou começar. Fazer 3 stints no início. Mudamos muito no carro, estamos tentando melhorar o ritmo, não tá bom. O carro tá faltando aderência na traseira, nas entradas das curvas, principalmente nas curvas rápidas, o carro não tá grudando no chão. A gente pensa que é alguma coisa aerodinâmica, que a gente não tá usando o assoalho bem ou na maneira mais eficiente. Então estamos fazendo mudanças, fizemos um warm-up agora, o carro ainda não melhorou, então a gente acha que vai mudar outra coisa e agora é direto para a corrida. Daqui meia hora abre o pit lane, eu vou entrar, fazer uma volta pela pista, passar pelo pit lane e aí parar o carro no grid, onde vai ter todo aquele procedimento e aí começar essa corrida.
Os caça. Ele achou que os caças estavam na guerra. Acho que eles não tinham ouvido.
Pula na frente a Cadillac, acompanhada da BMW 20. Will Stevens, numa ótima largada, já assume a primeira colocação, trazendo com ele René Haas. Cai para terceiro Kevin Magnussen. A quarta colocação de Ferdinand von Habsburg.
Alors que Kevin Magnussen est à la 6e place.
Colocam de lado ali os dois e agora vai tentar o ataque Pietro Fittipaldi, tentando ganhar a nona posição da LMP2. Agora vai juntar ali de lado Pietro Fittipaldi. Acabou tendo que recolher um pouquinho, porque tem a Mercedes logo na frente. Recolhe o Pietro Fittipaldi. Já teve o risco lá na curva Mulsanne na volta anterior. Agora os dois vão tentar limpar aqui a Mercedes 61, Mercedes do Martin Berry. Agora vem as Porsche Curves, é um trecho nevrálgico da pista. Tem que fazer o contorno dessas curvas com o máximo de zelo para quem sabe tentar o ataque ali na saída da Forte Chicane. Termina as Porsche Curves, vem para a Maison Blanche. Vem o Pietro Fittipaldi, já junta de novo na Maison Blanche. Já vai para cima do PJ Hyatt. Agora vai colocar por dentro. Ainda não consegue frear. Junto do PJ Hyatt, o Pietro Fittipaldi. É difícil a luta pela 9ª posição. Lá no canal do Grande Prêmio, reddit.com/Grande Prêmio, Pietro Fittipaldi passou o PJ Hyatt. Já consegue fazer a ultrapassagem o Pietro Fittipaldi. Já é o 9º colocado. Fez a ultrapassagem lá atrás, ali na região da Tertre Rouge. Pietro Fittipaldi é o 9º colocado. Agora ele vai tentar tirar 10 segundos de vantagem em relação ao David Heinemeier Hansson, que está no carro do Jack Doohan, e é o 8º colocado.
Thanks for the water in the car. I think for next time we need to put a bigger hose because I can't.
We'll try to fix it. We have those too, you know, it's too thin. I also tried this, like, it's crazy. But yeah. Temperature is better. Water temperature. Much better.
A gente está muito rápido na reta e muita pouca asa. Então eles estão pensando em trocar, mas vamos ver. I think after I get out of the car, with the cold power, this is my body, the heat keeps going. I have a problem with it. Agora o 7º, 6º. Nosso carro não tem desgaste, não tem o peak pace, mas não tem desgaste. Então, manter esse ritmo, quem sabe um pódio. Bora.
Agora esse é o segundo stint, né?
Segunda vez no carro. We're in the game. We got no deck.
cagar. Pra não dar tempo.
Essa stint é rápida sua?
Tá?
Essa stint sua é quanto tempo?
2 horas.
Temos outro GT parado. Tivemos trocentos, safety car oficial. Porque ficou na caixa de brita. Nem o slow zone vão utilizar. Será um safety car. O primeiro safety car da prova. E o Pietro Fittipaldi entre eles, é isso mesmo. 3 carros muito próximos disputando a segunda posição na P2. O carro da Inter Europol na frente, o Bijoy Garg. Na segunda posição vem o carro 9 da Proton, que vai fazer a parceria com o pessoal da Ford no Hypercars ano que vem. E na terceira posição dessa briga, na quarta posição na categoria, Pietro Fittipaldi no carro 26 da Vector Sport. Olha, a disputa continua entre eles. Olha como vem por fora ali. Vai aproveitando a situação do carro lento à frente deles. E o Pietro Fittipaldi também pode se aproveitar. Os três vêm quase lado a lado disputando a segunda posição. Pietro Fittipaldi conquista uma destas posições e fica agora em terceiro, Pietro. Tanto a Proton quanto o carro do Pietro Fittipaldi ultrapassaram a Inter Europol e conquistam a segunda e terceira posições, Gustavo.
Não, ali a gente viu ele passando por fora, colocou o carro, emparelhou, ainda tinha um Aston Martin que acho que acabou de sair do pit, com o pneu frio ali entre eles. Que espetáculo!
Porque ele fez a ultrapassagem para cima do Proton. Assume a segunda posição Pietro Fittipaldi. Passou 2 carros e coloca a Vector Sport em potencial chance de vencer a prova. Faltando 15 horas ainda para o final, Gustavo.
O Pietro tá dando um show agora nesse período noturno, né? Andando muito rápido, fazendo ótimas ultrapassagens. Acho que pelo menos agora no período noturno, enquanto o Pietro seguindo o carro, eles estão bem, então dá pra ficar bem otimista, hein?
Bom, pessoal, fomos de nono para segundo, acabamos até liderando algumas voltas, mas foi por sequência de pit. O carro ligou, a gente tem mínimo desgaste de pneu, os outros têm desgaste. A gente não tem aquele ritmo top, mas a gente consegue fazer 3 stints sem ter nenhum desgaste. E a nossa velocidade na reta é muito boa, então muito feliz. Agora estamos em segundo e, bom, falta muito tempo, mas estou bem animado.
drive-thru, por uma...
Dá uma olhada também na LMP2, Pietro Fittipaldi segue na 4ª colocação.
A gente tem ainda o Tom Dillman no Intereuropol 43 para fazer a última parada. Então vai ser muito perto. A gente tem ali ainda o Pietro Fittipaldi em segundo lugar no 26, que também vai fazer a parada, mas no momento a batalha pela vitória é entre o 43 e o 29.
Vamos para a última meia hora. Por enquanto, vindo para a vitória, um trio com Mike Conway, Kobayashi e Nick De Vries. Aí o carro de Pietro Fittipaldi, ó. Retornando a pista, o LMP2, número 26.
Cara, tô mal, velho. Você quer ver a câmera que eu tenho?
O que? Que museu?
Ó, tá vendo aqui?
Que porra é essa, meu brother?
A câmera, velho.
Muito bom.
Foda, vamos gravar lá embaixo?
Já estamos gravando, cara.
Ah, já tá gravando?
Já
Bom.
estamos. Essa tua mágica aí ficou show pro vlog.
Porra. Então, terminamos em P4. 12 segundos do pódio, a gente vinha voando no final. A gente foi um dos carros mais rápidos. E, putz, foi quase. Largamos de 13º. Se você me falaria ontem que a gente ia estar no top 5, eu não ia acreditar. Porque na sexta-feira a gente mudou o carro completamente. O acerto, a gente colocou um acerto completamente diferente, tipo pra tentar alguma coisa que a gente estava muito lento e acabou funcionando. Então, parabéns ao time, também meus companheiros pelo ótimo trabalho. E, bom, P4 em Le Mans, meu melhor resultado até agora, e eu acho que é a minha melhor performance também em Le Mans, porque eu ultrapassei muitos carros, eu estava extremamente rápido, um dos pilotos mais rápidos, acho que top 5 da LMP2, e tem tipo 60 pilotos na LMP2, então
Destaque para aquele teu stint da noite?
Pô, aquele stint da noite, nono para segundo, sensacional.
Desceu grandão no carro, hein? Sorrisão no rosto.
É isso aí, né?
Foi legal.
O Enzo é o tubarão, eu sou o pitbull, né?
Tá demorando, né?
Eu vou mordendo, né, mano? Eu vou mordendo.
Vamos com calma aí, né?
I mean, this looks killer. I mean, from my point of view, this is awesome. Hey, Clark here at Victory Bicycle Studio. I'm going to stand to the side so you can admire what we've got set up here. But these are all the